The Zelda timeline, gaming's greatest mystery. What if I told you that The Legend of Zelda isn't just a collection of disconnected adventures, but a massive overarching story spanning centuries? It's true. The series is divided into 3 parallel timelines, all branching from a single, pivotal event. One moment that changed the entire history of Hyrule forever. Since Zelda's debut in 1986, the connections between the games were deliberately kept vague. The result? One of gaming's greatest fan mysteries. With every new entry, Nintendo stuck to its core formula, yet always added new twists and elements. Most Zelda games follow a similar setup. A dark force threatens the kingdom. Princess Zelda is captured, and a young boy named Link rises to become a hero, traveling across Hyrule, conquering dungeons, defeating bosses, and ultimately facing off against the great evil, be it Ganon, Ganondorf, or someone else. It wasn't until December 21st, 2011, on the series' 25th anniversary and after 15 games, that Nintendo finally revealed an official master timeline in the book Hyrule Historia. This book became the holy grail for Zelda fans. It answered long-standing questions and myths about Hyrule's history and its characters, and it confirmed what had long been rumored. There isn't just one timeline, there are 3. Let's start at the very beginning. Even though Zelda is known for its time-traveling twists, not every Link is the same Link. Not every Zelda is the same Zelda. But there's one origin story that ties everything together. The creation of the world. The Big Bang of the Zelda universe. Before time existed, there was nothing but a shapeless void called the Silent Realm, along with a destructive force that devoured anything trying to take form. Then, the 3 golden goddesses descended. Din, the goddess of power, created the land. Nayru, the goddess of wisdom, brought order. Furore, the goddess of courage, gave life. Once their work was done, they returned to the heavens and left behind the Triforce, an ancient, powerful relic that would grant the wishes of anyone who possessed it. The Triforce was entrusted to the goddess Hylia, but during her era, a demon king named Demise rose up, attempting to take the Triforce and rule the world. To protect humanity, Hylia gathered the survivors onto a floating piece of land, sent the Triforce into the sky, and sealed Demise away. That floating land would later become known as Skyloft. And this is where the official Zelda timeline begins, in a relatively linear fashion. It all starts with Skyward Sword. In this game, we meet the first Princess Zelda, a reincarnation of the goddess Hylia, and we meet the first Link, her childhood friend. Fun fact, every Zelda in the series is a descendant of this original Zelda. But every Link? He's just a random guy, chosen anew each time. Skyward Sword follows Link as he defeats Demise, the root of all evil in the Zelda universe. But before Demise dies, he curses Link and Zelda's bloodlines with these final words. "The embodiment of my hatred shall follow your kind, dooming them to wander a blood-soaked sea of darkness for all eternity." And that curse is what sparks the endless cycle of rebirth, conflict, and struggle throughout the series. Afterward, Link and Zelda return to the surface and establish the kingdom of Hyrule. For a while, peace reigns. But over time, rumors of the Triforce's power spread, leading to a devastating war. In response, the sage Rauru, known in Ocarina of Time as the Owl Kaepora Gaebora, and even referenced in Tears of the Kingdom, builds the Temple of Time to protect the entrance to the sacred realm. He places the Triforce inside the Temple of Light and seals it with the Master Sword, which only a true hero can wield. Centuries pass, the royal family of Hyrule is founded. The name Zelda becomes tradition for every princess. And then we reach the events of Minish Cap, Four Swords, and finally, Ocarina of Time. And this is where things get interesting. One single event in Ocarina of Time causes the timeline to split into 3 separate paths. We're about to go full back to the future. In Ocarina of Time, Ganondorf steals the Triforce and takes control of Hyrule. Link must awaken 7 sages to stop him. At the start, Link is 9 years old, living in Kokiri Forest. After being chosen by the Great Deku Tree, he travels Hyrule, collecting the 3 spiritual stones to open the Temple of Time. He draws the Master Sword from its pedestal and falls into a 7-year sleep. Link wakes up as a 16-year-old and completes 5 more temples: forest, fire, water, shadow, and spirit, before finally awakening the sages needed to confront Ganondorf. With their help, he defeats him and seals him away in the Sacred Realm. This moment, Link saving the future, marks the beginning of the adult timeline. But because Zelda sends Link back in time to his childhood, the adult timeline is left without a hero. Generations later, a new Link is reborn, and the games Wind Waker, Phantom Hourglass, and Spirit Tracks follow. That's the adult timeline. But what about the Link who was sent back? When he returns to his childhood, he now knows the terrible fate that awaits. He warns Princess Zelda early, preventing Ganondorf from ever accessing the Sacred Realm. This changes the course of history and creates the child timeline. Now a kid who has seen too much, Link leaves Hyrule in search of his lost fairy companion, Navi. His journey leads him to Majora's Mask, the first game in the child timeline. After Majora's Mask comes Twilight Princess, and then Four Swords Adventures. Centuries later, in Twilight Princess, we meet a new Link. But he's not alone. He's guided by the ghost of a mysterious warrior. That ghost is the Hero Shade, the fallen spirit of the Link from Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask. The sad part? The Hero of Time died feeling unrecognized. He saved the world, but was remembered by no one. No one knew his name. No one knew his sacrifice. In Twilight Princess, he becomes a mentor, passing on his sword techniques to the new Link. In doing so, he finally finds peace. And that completes the child timeline. But wait, we're still missing one. Remember, there are 3. The final branch is the darkest of all. The fallen hero timeline. This is what happens if Link fails in Ocarina of Time. If Ganondorf wins, he claims the Triforce of Power and plunges Hyrule into chaos. This timeline begins with A Link to the Past, then continues with Link's Awakening, the Oracle games, A Link Between Worlds, Triforce Heroes, and the original Zelda games, Zelda 1 and Zelda 2. Even with Nintendo's official timeline in Hyrule Historia, many mysteries remain. New games raise new questions, and fans come up with new theories. One recent theory suggests that Echoes of Wisdom, the upcoming Zelda title, might take place even before Skyward Sword, making it the first game in the timeline. And then there's Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, which exist in their own unique continuity. They reference a legendary hero and a forgotten past, but don't tie directly into any of the 3 timelines. Many believe they form a 4th standalone branch. With each new entry, Nintendo adds new puzzle pieces. Some fit, others shake things up, but that's part of what makes Zelda special. Even after all these years, new theories emerge about time travel, reincarnation, returning characters, and what the next version of Hyrule might look like. And that's why the story of Hyrule will never truly end. In 30 years, I'll still be here, still waiting for an Ocarina of Time remake. If you made it this far, you're clearly just as big a Zelda fan as we are. Like, comment, or just enjoy. We're happy you came along for the journey. Thanks for watching.